Is the screen visible?
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Okay.
yes,
Sir, yes, sir.
Yes,
it
sir.
is
Yes, sir.
visible.
It's fine, sir. Visible.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you.
Can we start now, sir?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. We can start.
Good evening, one and all. On
Good
behalf of Institution of Engineers, Tamil Nadu State Center and Madurai Trichy Local Center and Madurai Local Center, today we are having a celebrate that World Standards Day and birthday of Bharat Ratna Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam. So now I request Madurai Chairman Dr. S. Rajagopal sir give the welcome address.
Thank you, Ramdas. Good evening to everybody.
Good evening, sir.
Today, Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam birthday and also World Standards Day. This program is jointly organized by Tamil Nadu State Center, Madurai Local Center and Trichy Local Center. Nowadays, many programs are being organized along with the Tamil Nadu State Center and the local centers. I think today Kanyakumari is doing separately. Hereafter, my request to Dr. Ramdas, Tamil Nadu State Center Chairman is, similar programs can be conducted with all the local centers in Tamil Nadu. Tamil Nadu State Center with the lead role. Ramdas?
Okay, sir. Okay, sir. We will do it, sir.
Okay. Today's theme is protecting the planet with the standards. And our speaker is Dr. G. Raja Singh, Thangadurai. He is the scientist and the project director, BRAHMOS, Ministry of Defense, Hyderabad. I welcome all the participants of today's meeting, webinar. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, Rajagopal sir. Now the World Standards Day, every year, October 14th, we are celebrating the World Standards Day for actually the World Standards Day on International Day, they celebrated internationally every year on 14th October. The day honor for efforts of thousands of experts who develop the voluntary standards within the standards developed organization such as International Electrotechnical Commission, IEC, International Organization of Standardization, ISO, International Telecommunication Union, ITU. The aim of World Standards Day to raise the awareness among the regulators, industry and consumer as to the importance of standardization to the global economy. The 14th October was specially chosen to mark the day in 1946 when the delegates of 25 countries first gathered in London and decided to create an international organization focused on facilitating the standardization. Even though the ISO was formed 1 year later, it was until 1970 the first World Standards Day was celebrated. This year World Standards Day theme is protecting the planet with standards. To reduce the human impact on our planet, we need the political will, create action, and right tools. The international standards are one such tool. The international standards prepared by IEC, ISO, and ITU take into account tried and true solution to technical challenges. They help share expertise and expert know-how broadly within developing countries alike. The standards covers all aspects of energy savings, water and air quality. A lay down standardization protocols and methods of measurements. Their broad use help reduce the environmental impact of industrial production and process. The facilitating the reuse of limited resources and improves energy efficiency. With this, thanks for this thing. And then now I welcome that Dr. Kumaresan is a chairman of Trichy Local Center. Will give give about the Bharat Ratna Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam gist. Sir, now you
Okay.
take out, sir.
Yeah. I joined with engineer S. Rajagopal, Chairman, Madurai Local Center, and engineer R. Ramadas, Chairman, Tamil Nadu State Center, to welcome Dr. G. Raja Singh, Scientist, Project Director, BRAHMOS, Defense Research Development Laboratory, DRDL, Hyderabad. I also extend a warm welcome to all my fellow engineers, faculty members, students, friends, press, and in particular my guru Dr. Subbaya for responding to our invitation and attending this program. Bharat Ratna APJ Abdul Kalam. A very few people leave an everlasting legacy like Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam, the 11th president of our nation. He was the coolest and energetic president and declared the Raj Bhavan as People's Bhavan and took care of even the birds like peacock residing there. He was affectionately called the People's President. On this birth anniversary of this Kalam, the great scientist, celebrated missile man of India, administrator for excellence, dedicated teacher, author of many inspiring books, and a lover of the students community, we should recall his enormous service to the nation till the last second of his breathing on this earth, so that we will drive the energy to go ahead with our allotted task and responsibilities with courage and determination. Born in an ordinary family in Rameshwaram, he showed his interest in space technology even at a young age and specialized in aeronautical engineering in MIT Chennai. He made immense contribution in several reputed national organizations like Defense Research and Development Organization DRDO, Indian Space Research Organization ISRO, and Defense Research and Development Laboratory DRDL. Kalam was the scientific advisor to the Defense Ministry of India between 1992 and 1999, when India went ahead with nuclear explosion test at Pokhran. He overcome several challenges in his endeavors by hard work and perseverance and set a role model for every one of us to follow and succeed in our mission. I happened to see one of the photographs of the college event in which he participated a few months before the end of his term as president. The faces of all the students whom he addressed were so bright and smiling. In fact, I had an opportunity to go very closely and sit down with Dr. Kalam and participated in one of the programs organized at our institute, NIT Tiruchirappalli. So fascinating was his speech. In the first joint session of the parliament, after taking over as president, he started his address with the following quotes. I climbed and climbed, my lord, where is the peak? I plugged and plugged, my lord, where is the treasure of knowledge? I sailed and sailed, my lord, where is the island of peace? These quotes truly reflect the great vision of Kalam that our country should climb to the peak in every sphere of our constructive activities, shine a treasure of house of knowledge in every area, and ultimately become a land of peace and prosperity in the global scenario. Erudite and well-read, Kalam has written 12 books like Wing of Fire, Ignited Minds, and India 2020. One of the things that stand out in every one of these books is uncompromising optimism and dedication. He often said that the management of the knowledge should move away from the realm of the individual and should shift to networked groups. So let us follow his dictum and take a pledge on this occasion that we will all, with our unwavering commitment, create new knowledge in emerging areas, discover the impossible useful for the economic development, and ensure prosperity in every sector. Bharat Ratna APJ Abdul Kalam exhorted every student to dream big, come out with new ideas, plan appropriately, execute meticulously, and contribute towards making India a developed nation by 2020. Unfortunately, COVID-19 pandemic has intervened, but let us not lose our spirit and positive attitude. There is no life without challenges. Let our engineering group work together, stand united, and take technology to amazing heights. I will end my short tributes to Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam with a favorite Tirukkural, often quoted by him. உள்ளுவதெல்லாம் உயர் உள்ளல் மற்றவை தள்ளினும் தள்ளாமை நீர், which means whatever we think should be with lofty aims only. Even if the planned objective is not readily met, the right thinking itself is considered as though the goal is reached, as it will certainly motivate us gradually towards achievement. Thank you for the opportunity and thank you all for the patient listening. Thank you. Over to Engineer Ramadas.
Thank you, Kumaresan sir. Hello.
Yeah, thank you, sir. Now we can invite Dr. Sivakumaran.
Thank you, Mr. Kumaresan sir. Now I invite Dr. Sivakumaran to introduce today's speaker, Dr. Raja Singh. Sivakumaran?
Yes, sir. Good evening,
you take
sir.
Out. You take
Yes,
out.
sir. Good evening, sir. Good evening, Raja Singh, sir. So, good evening to everyone. It's my pleasure and honor to introduce Dr. G. Raja Singh Thangadurai, Scientist G, Project Director, BRAHMOS, Defense Research Development Laboratory, Ministry of Defense, Hyderabad. He did his aerospace engineering from MIT Madras, and he did his graduation from IISc, and subsequently from IIT Madras, he completed his PhD in the year 2003. Initially, he joined with HCL as the Aircraft Design Bureau, and subsequently he joined as a engineer in DRDL Hyderabad in 1991. Now currently he is heading the most responsible position of DRDL, that is the project director of BRAHMOS supersonic cruise missile. So recent launch, everyone is apprehended, and we like to acknowledge a special effort made by his team, jointly by India and Russia. He had a significant contribution with the development to liquid propellant rocket engines for indigenous surface-to-surface missile Prithvi, and his applied research development in propulsion system and composite structures of supersonic cruise missile. He is a fellow of an institution of engineers and a life member of many professional bodies like Astronautical Society of India, SAQR, and INSAM, and Combustion Institute India section. He is the member of the process section MTD, Bureau of Indian Standard, which is responsible for the standards pertaining to light metals and their alloys section of Metallurgical Engineering Division. He was commended for the training of AOC and EME personnel of Indian Army in Prithvi missile system. He served as an AICT INAE Distinguished Visiting Professor at NIT Trichy. He was awarded the Scientist of the Year Award 2009 by DRDL Hyderabad for his outstanding contribution towards indigenization of the subsystems of BRAHMOS weapon system. So with this few introduction, about his profile, we are very keen and happy to invite Sir for his commendable achievements, especially with reference to the project director as BRAHMOS, and his special effort in acknowledging us every time and motivating us to take up to his expectation. So with these few words, once again, I request Dr. Raja Singh sir to deliver his address for this particular session. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Professor Shivkumaran, for your kind words. Good evening to all of you. Am I audible?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
You are audible, sir.
You are audible.
Yes, sir.
So once again, I thank everyone for giving me an opportunity to share a few of my thoughts with all of you. Especially, I thank Engineer Ramdas, Chairman, Tamil Nadu State Center, and Engineer Rajagopal, Madurai Local Center, and Professor N. Kumaresan, Chairman, Tiruchirappalli Local Center, and my good friend, Professor Shivkumaran, who has made this possible. At the outset, I thank each and every one of you. And today, basically, when I was listening to this, in fact, all the introducing speakers, they made my life very simple actually. Initially, the first person he gave about the World Standards Day, and Professor Kumaresan, in a nutshell, he has covered the complete history of Dr. Kalam. So basically, they have made my job very simpler. So what I thought is mostly I'll share my association with Dr. Kalam, so that whatever not available in internet or in the open literature, I can share with you. So I have made my presentation in two parts. Initially, I'll just go through the few experiences with the Dr. Kalam, especially his life and how he was guiding all of us here in DRDO. And next, coming to the theme of the today's celebration, the World Standards Day. So these are two parts I will be covering. In fact, I had the privilege of joining DRDL when Dr. Kalam was the director of the laboratory. I joined in 10th May 1991. So those days, the usual customary thing is the moment a new person joins the lab, that day evening, you have to meet the lab director. So usually lab director meeting with Dr. Kalam means after 6 o'clock only. So that day, first day, I was waiting after 6 o'clock. Then personal secretary told that the director is calling you, you can go. So when I went inside, I was searching. Usually in all our offices, when you look around, you will find a big chair. The boss will be sitting in that. But to my surprise, all the chairs were equal, and a person was sitting who was, you cannot recognize much. He was sitting in a very normal chair, and I was turning here and there. Then he told, come, he told. Then only we thought that because another 2-3 people are there. Then he asked others to go out. Then the way the dialogue he initiated, it was really marvelous. He was telling that now what we are talking about, the hypersonic area, that is in aeronautical sense, whatever object flies at the speed of sound, we call it as sonic. And below that Mach number 1, that Mach number 1 we call it sonic. Below that Mach number we call subsonic. And beyond Mach number 1 we call it as supersonic. And if the Mach number is beyond 5, we call them as hypersonic. So 5 times the speed of sound. So he told that, young man, you will be making the facility where we are getting the hypersonic tested. That is the scramjet test facility, supersonic combustion ramjet facility. Then the way he was telling is a practical problem. He was saying that Akash CD0 is very high. What we'll do? Like that he was asking. I was not at all knowing about anything. But the way he looks for solution from people and how he treats youngsters, that was marvelous. And you can see that his biodata, whatever he was coming from, he had a very humble beginning from a small village at Rameshwaram. And his hard work and perseverance He put a lot of his hard work during the ISRO days, and then that showed up in various products at DRDO, and the rest all you know is history. So he was, as Professor told, that he is a people's president, and he got the highest Indian civilian honor of the Bharat Ratna in 1997. And to have a link, when you see, he passed away at IIM Shillong when he was delivering a speech on creating a livable planet Earth. So today is more apt because protecting the planet with the standards. So when we see a person of this stature, I thought it is highly relevant. When you see the Dr. Kalam's life, as we told, he was a very young person at Rameshwaram. So unpolluted, clear sky. You can watch so many things, good air and birds watching, everything. So you have, he had a very humble beginning, and he had his schooling at Ramnad Schwartz School. Then he did his BSc Physics at St. Joseph Trichy. And those days, MIT was offering a diploma. DMIT, we call it as Diploma in Madras Institute of Technology. He did there. Then later he joined DTDNP AIR actually. Usually people go to many R&D, this, that and all. That was the Directorate of Technical Development and Production. It comes under the Department of Defense Production and Supplies. He was sometime in that reliability quality area. Then later he was spotted for the space missions, and he visited even NASA in that program. And his major contributions were in the SLV-3, Satellite Launch Vehicle 3, which is the workhorse of many of our missile programs. So his contribution, when you see, he started with quality, then moved to space, developed the required knowledge, which was very appropriately implemented for military applications. So when you see this slide, this SLV-3 was the major contribution, where he has full contribution whatever he has made. And this Agni missile was the first program that I'll come to that detail later. And that other one is a nuclear. See, what is the difference is, in other nuclear complexes, size is not an issue. When you want to use as a weapon, it has to be miniaturized, and it has to be done with a lot of control. And see, we need to have a lot of arming mechanisms so that it is very safe when you are handling. So it has a lot of criticalities. All those things, he had very close relation with the nuclear team, and that is how we have miniaturized and weaponized and made India a nuclear state. So as I told you, Dr. Kalam was the project director of the prestigious satellite launch vehicle SLV-3. You might have heard most of the time, SLV-3 first flight when they had in 10th August 1979, it was a failure because he was the mission director, and the mission director has the full power to call up the flight, hold the flight, or launch the flight. He is fully authorized to do whatever he wants. So the computer, everything gives the clear when the countdown is going on, you'll be closely following it up, and the mission director holds the thing. So when there was a hold coming, he override that, and he permitted launch, and there was a failure. That time Professor Dhawan came to his rescue, and he was facing the press. But the main thing is, they see, very great thing about ISRO, they go into the detail very much. They have the expertise, the failure analysis, what they do. They go threadbare into that, and the problem was noticed. What SLV-3 is a full solid rocket propulsion system. But to have the attitude control, we have some system called reaction control systems. So where we control all the three motions of the flight vehicle, both pitch, roll, and yaw. So in that, they have a small liquid propellant which will be firing to do that. So one valve in that, it was not properly closed. So propellant started leaking. So when it was required, it was not having the oxidizer. So then they have put a strict quality control in that, how to do all those things. Then immediately next year, on 18th July, it was a total success. So one thing was failures didn't stop him. So coming to another special case, we have this when 83, when he has joined DRDL, one IG Integrated Guided Missile Development Program, IGMDP, was started. So in that 5 missiles, one of them was Prithvi. It was a surface-to-surface tactical missile powered by liquid rocket engines. So this was a success. What has happened after 7 successful flights? There was a failure. So when that has taken, that was the time I have also joined DRDL. It was having a 2 liquid propellant rocket engines. So only after 20 seconds, the missile fell in Bay of Bengal. So then Dr. Kalam, he coordinated with the Indian Navy, told all those the naval divers, and the complete hardware was recovered. It is fully acidic, and it is the smell it gives, it is intolerable. So those things have been collected, and it was studied for the full failures. What would have gone wrong, what went wrong. In fact, I vividly remember one Saturday morning, 9 o'clock, we started the review. There was no lunch break. It went up to evening 6:30. So he called different batch of people. And those days he wanted to fix the problem, and it was done. Once the problem was fixed, the control structure and that interaction with the gimbal, it was found, then it was immediately corrected. So whatever is there, he was going into the details, and failures didn't stop him. He was a leader who was not at all defeated by the problems. He took it as a challenge. Coming to this Agni program, here the first Agni program, it had the booster as the first stage, SLV3 as the main booster. Then as you go up in the atmosphere, the air pressure drops. So the Prithvi operates as a surface-to-surface missile. But the second stage of this Agni program, Agni 1, what we call, it was a modified Prithvi. So the nozzle was modified to suit that altitude requirement. Then you have the re-entry heat shield, that once the missile comes back into the atmosphere, the conditions it faces, it is very high temperatures. As you know that Kalpana Chawla's life we lost during the re-entry phase. So those critical technologies were all developed, and if you want to start this program afresh, ab initio, it would have costed around 400 crores. But Dr. Kalam, by integrating the available technologies, SLV3, Prithvi together, the project cost was brought less than 40 crores. So that was the idea, whatever it has gone. And as you all know, 89, many people are making mockery of that Agni trial, because what has happened, first launch, when we had this launch, we were doing at Chandipur, and it is fully village people all around. So when you launch a big missile, the safety distance doesn't permit human or cattle around you. So each time when you want to launch the missile, the entire area has to be evacuated. So when initial 20th April, when it was there, there was a hold. Then again, when they have prepared something, went for 1st May launch, again there was a hold. And even press made a mockery of it. You can see that they call it as IDBM, they told. that is intermittently delayed ballistic missile, they told. Then when all these errors, all these things were studied, all these things were done because as I told you, this first stage was a SLV3 modification. The problems there was in the base shroud areas, whatever is that, quickly within 20 days, people have corrected it and brought back and did the launch successfully on 22nd May. And that made India to enter into the class of nations who had this IRBM technology. So what I want to say is the main success mantra for Dr. Kalam was, it is not that he was a 100% successful man, plenty of failures, and each failure was tackled with courage. And he was not deterred by the failures. And in fact, each failure taught different lessons. So to succeed, you have to have failures, and each failure teaches you the many things to be learned. So failures he treated as a stepping stone to success. So many quotes you might have seen. He says that if you fail, never give up, because fail means first attempt in learning. And end is not the end. In fact, end means effort never dies. And if you get a no as an answer, remember that no, NO means next opportunity. So this was his success mantra, never get deterred by failures. So difficulties in your life do not come to destroy you, but help you to realize what you have, the hidden potential and power. So he says that let the difficulties know that you are more difficult than those difficulties. So coming to BRAHMOS, for BRAHMOS program, entire nation owes a lot to Dr. Kalam, because when he visited NPOM Russia in the 90s, he met one Dr. Effermo. He was the leading designer of NPOM Russia. So there he found that the ramjet engines technology we don't have. So he told that we should have that ramjet engine technology. So that time USSR was not in a good shape economically. So he capitalized on that, and we entered into a joint venture, BRAHMOS. So it is a Brahmaputra and Moscow are rivers together. So that is how the word was coined, and the supersonic cruise missile project started. So one visit and meeting of two intellectuals that could start a major program. That is how that BRAHMOS was born, and the intergovernment agreement was signed. Then now if you see, BRAHMOS is the most dependable, potent, offensive weapon which is available with our armed forces. And you know the present scenario, that is what is guarding our motherland right now. We can launch from multiple platforms, and it can handle a variety of targets. So that one idea meeting, and not only the idea, then think over it, chart out a plan, find the ways and means to implement it, identify the right people. That is how he made the BRAHMOS a huge success. After he became president also, repeatedly, frequently he visited our place at various places. Now it has expanded into a big organization. And he didn't leave with that. Whenever he visited, whatever done is over. Now you have to think about future. That is, you should work on hypersonic cruise missile, and not only hypersonic cruise missile, it has to attack the enemy and it has to come back to you. So you make it reusable. This is how he thinks, and he's a visionary. So probably with his visions, we'll be able to implement such a few of his ideas, and we have to find the better product for BRAHMOS. So when you really see, with the successful launch of SLV3, he made India a member of the Space Club, and that re-entry, that was the main thing. What we are saying about the conditions when the flight vehicle experiences when it re-enters with the temperature and the velocity. So those materials, that carbon materials, see whatever be the outside temperature in 5000 plus degree, inside electronic equipment should not see beyond 65-70 degrees centigrade. So whatever you have the mechanism, that technology was developed here, and that made, now he started with the humble Agni 1. Now we have a series of IRBMs, ICBMs, which can go beyond even 5000 kilometers plus. So all these things because of one man who made this possible in our country. And when they started this IGDMP program in 1982, all the 5 missiles, Akash, Prithvi, Nag, Trishul and Agni, each one had its own technology. Suppose a strap down inertial guidance system or seeker, you name it, we were denied all those technologies. Because of this MTCR, the technology was denied. So he converted whatever the technology denied should be technology gained. So he brought a synergy between the academic institute, industry, and the R&D laboratories. And it was a national level teams working and realized the product. That is how we could succeed. So successful development of Agni missiles, then India became the 6th country to enter into that IRBM club. And through that Pokhran 2 in 11th May 1998, India has become a nuclear weapon state. And later part, when he has become people's president, the image of the president and the image of the country has gone up in the world forum. So the other side of Dr. Kalam, if you see, he was actually, people like Dr. Kalam and Mrs. Gandhi, Indira Gandhi, they sleep hardly for 4 to 5 hours. See, Dr. Kalam, he didn't stay in the director's bungalow. He gave to somebody else and he stayed in the guest house. It is like a single bedroom house type. And up to 8 o'clock, he'll be at the office. 8 o'clock, he comes back, has a dinner, goes for a small walk, and up to 10, 11, 12, you can find light in his room. Then early morning, if you see 4:30, again, there will be light in his room. So was an untiring and that kind of a person who made everything possible for our country. And the campuses he developed, he wanted to keep the ecosystem clean. In fact, the research center Imarat, what we call as RCI at Hyderabad, it is maintained to the world class, and the greenery is maintained, even the animals, everything is maintained. And in Chandipur, Orissa, he brought the deer park only with the 2, 3 and all. Now we have dozens of deer there. And it was told by many people from our side visiting Rashtrapati Bhavan, even Rashtrapati Bhavan gardens, he made an impact. So he had a concern for the planet, concern for the ecosystem, and a great personality. So as Professor Kumaresan told about the Kalam, I could also cover a little bit aspect of whatever our association we had. And coming to the World Standards Day, October 14 is the World Standards Day, and it is based on when 1946 delegates from 25 countries, when they have gathered to remember that this has been started. Then ISO was formed 1 year later than that. Then celebrations of World Standards Day started from 1970s. So main idea is to bring it to the international level and to raise the awareness among people. And as the introducing person told, it is IEC, ISO and ITU. And in addition to that, their subdivisions like ASME, other people also, they are all contribute a lot. So I am also part of one standards committee. Truly speaking, it is like a thankless job, but you have to do a lot of work, lot of inputs are being taken. And this is made to recognize the contribution of such valiant people who contribute voluntarily, so that the community and the system runs in a smoother way. When you see the World Standards Day, various themes are being formed. So if you see from 2011 to 2020, the committee decides the topic, the theme, and which is more relevant they take. And if you see various things in the digital world or the video related, and even 18, if you see, they are talking about the fourth industrial revolution. If you see the first industrial revolution from the animal power, it was coming to the fuels, and then later when you see the electronics, digital age, now we'll be going into the Internet of Things and artificial intelligence. So all these things, unless you develop the standards, so you have to think ahead, and that is how the themes are being formed. So now, because the planet is in danger, unless you take some action now, then it is too late. So that is how the theme has been selected to protect the planet, what the organization can do, standards. So that is the most apt theme for this year. And as you all know, because Earth, it is a very finite vessel, you cannot extend it, it can only shrink. So how far you can utilize it to the maximum? Because of the modern civilization, urbanization, whatever limited resource we have, we are spoiling them. So what are the ways to retain them so that the future generation can live comfortably? So standards, as you know, they are all the documents which give the specification procedure to do various things, and it attacks all the issues, right from the raw material to the end use, the complete product life cycle. The standard takes care of it. So why do we have standards? Because standards provide the requirement specification guidelines, and it is used for multiple purpose. And it is both good for the buyer and the seller. So standards are very important because in all areas we use it, and it is part and parcel of our daily life. And especially suppose the digital devices, if you see that interoperability, compatibility, unless you have a standard, you will not be able to have a good product. So basically the standards, they are for the four tasks: the interoperability and compatibility, because if you have the nut bolt and all, you have a standard sizes. You cannot have a variety of sizes, and it ensures the quality, and it through standardization we limit the number of the variants, and it gives the proper information, and it helps us in measurement also. And standards can be broadly classified into 7 types: the terminology standards or the compatibility standards. So as I told you, suppose paper size A4 size we say means so that your printer, binding, everything will be uniform. You cannot have, each person cannot have a different sizes. And when people travel, you can find each country, the plug points are different. So unless standards exist, your life will not be comfortable. Then there are standards for performance. There are standards for measurement and testing. And even there are standards for management, products, and some basic standards for the units, such like that. So the current scenario, the major challenges for development, if you see, are the reducing the poverty in people. And because the population is growing, you have to almost double the food production without using excessive synthetic chemicals or conversion of the natural habitats or degradation of the lands available. And all these things, everybody needs energy, power. So without spoiling the environment, we have to give. And basic thing like water we have to give. And you also should have, because now urbanization is becoming more, we have to develop healthy urban environment. So these are all coupled with various issues, because the moment you do, it affects the climate change, ozone depletion, and biological diversity, deforestation, and even land degradation, freshwater contamination, and the marine environments and resource degradation, and the persistent organic pollutants which are not biodegradable. So all these issues we need to tackle. The main reason for environmental degradation are the increased demand because of the population, and we don't regulate whatever is available, and we use inappropriate technologies. All these things amount to the environmental degradation. And we should use the standards to minimize the human impact on our planet Earth. So many standards, as the other person was telling, the IEC, ITU standards, now slowly they are coming up for implementation stage, so that you will have a control. Like ISO 14000 has come, and ISO 50001, they are for the energy management systems, and various things by this IEC. They give what all the substance and material you are using in the electronic and electrical products. Are they good or bad? How it is affecting, or carcinogenic, or how do you dispose it? All those things have to be thought. Then it has to be brought into the implementation level. Then you have IEC 62321 also. So it tells about the toxic substances available in that, and various guidelines for minimizing the environmental impact also are brought out in various standards. So through these standards, when they are strictly implemented, it will go in a long way to protect our environment. So simply for all of us, if you can just think some 10 simple ways to protect our planet. If you have to travel to a nearby place, better walk or use a bicycle. You can use public transport or carpooling, and you should minimize your energy and water requirements, and wherever possible, reuse the things, and if possible, recycle your waste. And unless and otherwise it is necessary, don't buy anything. But economists will say the different thing. Unless you spend more, economy will not grow. So it is a balance to be brought. Then more greenery and maximum paperless digital you go, and many local things. If you start use the transportation thing, fossil fuels can be saved. That is how you can save your planet. Thank you. Thanks for giving me an opportunity. Thank you.
Sir, thank you, sir. I think you are sharing your experience with Dr. Kalam, sir, and given the excellent information about the World Standards Day and all those things. Now, anybody have any questions? Participant can unmute themselves and then ask any.
Hello.
Yes, sir.
Sir, I'm Arivedagan from Trichy chapter.
Yes, sir. Go ahead.
Yeah, sir.
Raja Singh,
Sir,
sir.
yeah, excellent. I think talks are really very happy to hear. I think remembering of Dr. Abdul Kalam and glimpse of standards, really excellent, sir. And I have a few questions to ask.
Yeah, please.
First one is, sir, I think why the standards are important for protecting the plant in view of common man. And just I'm asking as a common layman, why the standards are important for protecting the plant. Just a basic question I'm asking.
Okay, now, if you really see, when we are doing lot of simple things, even for our own missiles, when we are using some containers, we are using various chemicals.
Yes, sir.
Then once the missile has taken off,
Yes.
that canister is useless. Then if it is left buried and all, it affects the next generation. The entire area, it spoils the land, and if you burn also, the gases evolve also is a problem. So those things, unless you give a standard for each, even disposal. So disposal of those things, unless you make some mechanism,
Yeah.
then it affects the future generation and the environment.
Yeah,
So
thank you.
what we have done is we have put it in the cement factory, whether it can be used. It will be used for making in the cement factory kind of thing. So different things means it's one example I'm saying.
Yes.
Similar way, there are various some antimony type of chemicals, other things. especially in the electronic gasket use and throw. So what are all the things? It may be in a very ppm level, but unless they are treated properly, it spoils the planet. So that we have to take care, and that is how we have to.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Thank you, sir. One more question. Generally, developing a standard, usually how much time it will take, sir, to develop any standards? Usually, how much time it will take to develop any standard?
Suppose our Indian BAS, Bureau of Indian Standards,
Yes.
I have seen almost even correction of standard takes 1.5 years. So unless it is,
Yes.
see, because they meet almost once in 6 months, or now they are circulation on mail. Otherwise, they formally meet, discuss, decide, and come to some consensus, then issue it. So that's a long process. Now, slowly, as everywhere the accountability is coming, now because of the digital thing, whatever, when you receive a document, it is told, and you are supposed to clear within a week or something like that. In future, things will improve, and we'll be able to deliver in a faster stage.
Yes, sir. Sir, last question. You mentioned about Dr. Abdul Kalam faced failures with courage. So, do you have any simple way or any techniques or methods are used to face the courage? Anything is available, or you can share with us, maybe useful for younger generation? How to face the failures with courage?
Yeah, and basically, many times when whatever we do, they are all first time kind of thing.
Yes.
So, and it is like a system oriented. See, like I may have a system which is perfectly okay.
Yes.
But because of the misbehavior of some other system, the entire mission goes for a failure.
Yes.
Suppose I have a good system which will work. Suppose I have to go to some 300 kilometers, my warhead has to explode. But in between, one of the wing not working, the missile itself will not reach. So it is like a multidisciplinary one. In our case, what I am saying is, so failures, whatever we say is, nowadays, though we say failures, you learn lot and all. I know in Russia and all, if you fail, you are thrown out, you are punished, and you lose your job.
Yes.
So what is there is, whatever we do, there are some systems, we should not bypass anything. Even Kalam, when he is saying also failure is accepted, you do your job, then it fails is pardonable. But you cannot do something just to make for failure. See, there are ways and means. Now everything has come up. So you have to follow the procedure, logic. Then when you have tried, also it is not tried without any thought. See, we have different teams, even any idea you have. There are initially, suppose any item, if you see, you have a feasibility study, you have a preliminary design, you have a critical design, you have a peer review. All these things are there. So with all these things, after taking care, something goes also, then you will learn. That is the interference through some other thing, or one particular aspect we have not seen, what we have missed. They are all pardonable. But that doesn't permit you to commit a blunder.
Sir, thank you. Thank you very much, sir, for great words. So surely we'll encourage, I think maybe we'll get a lot of, encouragement from your words. Thank you very much, sir. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Raja Singh, sir. This is Dr. P.S. Kumar here. I have one question, sir. Two questions. Can I go ahead, sir?
Yeah, please.
Sir, I really, because it was a wonderful lecture, so thanks for that first. Second one is, like, whenever you told ISRO means, it is for us, it is always most efficient and effective organization in terms of innovative and cost reducing things. Like you also explained about the Agni missile development. It was originally, it was with 400 crores, but because of the integrations of the good technologies, you could able to make it to 40 crores. How this culture itself was built in ISRO?
Now, basically, ISRO, it was led by visionaries like Professor Dhawan, Vikram Sarabhai. They were, what you can say is, they had the exposure in multiple areas. And if you see, Vikram Sarabhai is a very rich person. And what they had is, they have gone even management studies, but they were very patriotic. They wanted to do something for the country. And they didn't lose the link with the academics. See, they had professors to review. They understood that they go to the first principle. If something goes wrong, right, it was not taken by chance. So the involvement of the academicians and identifying the whatever I have seen with all these great visionaries are, they identify the right talent. Who can do this job? Who will deliver that? Who talks doesn't work? Who works? That they have the knack of identifying the right people. And that is how they don't mind in going to any professor. Suppose some nook and corner, somebody may be working on some area. They have identified and got. Like that, those are the reasons. And they develop vertical expertise. See, suppose in many organizations, the moment somebody grows, he'll talk about everything else. Money, this, that, all those things. But core competence, domain expertise, those people are neglected. Whereas in ISRO, if you see, you have the verticals. See, suppose somebody is a material specialist. He is an expert. If somebody is a control person, he knows. If somebody is a guidance person, like that it is there. So those things have been built in the organization, and they have review mechanisms, very stringent review mechanisms. So through this, that standard has been set in. In fact, all our reviews also we call them only.
Thank you so much, sir. One more question, like, India versus neighboring countries. How strong we are in our capabilities of defense mechanism, and in case of unexpected attack, how we are capable of responding to the situations. If it is shareable in an open public domain, you can share it. Otherwise, you need not answer this question, sir.
Yeah, many things may not be. It's not possible to share actually.
Yes, sir. I know it, sir. That's the reason I just.
Yeah, but we are well prepared. In fact, even this COVID time, our team has done a good job, and you can feel that you are safe. That much I can assure.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much, sir.
Can I ask one question? Bhaskaran, sir.
Go ahead, Bhaskaran.
Sir, I am Dr. Bhaskaran, Joint Director, Industries Department, sir. Sir, for micro, small and medium industries, what ISRO, they are giving any order, sir? Like, can they become vendors for that? Because Tamil Nadu is designated as a defense corridor, sir. We have 5 places like Salem, Tiruchi, Coimbatore and all. Government is doing a lot for defense, and we have defense policy also, sir. So regarding ISRO, how much percentage they are giving for MSME, sir? Micro, small and medium enterprise?
Can I answer for the question? I'm Siva Subramanian from.
No issue.
I'm
Both space and defense.
Yes,
we
sir.
are encouraging the small industries. What is there are few procedures like now Tamil Nadu, many are like you can meet one Mr. Sundar at Salem, Elastomeric Industries and all, and
Okay, sir.
even Chennai, one Mr. Rangarajan of Data Patterns is there. These two
Rangarajan,
people
okay.
we contact.
Yes,
Then
sir.
they are trying to consolidate also, and there are different even state government. Tamil Nadu state government also has formed some. They have put a specific article for that.
Yes,
So
sir.
things are, only thing is you should know what is your core competence, or it is like a demand and supply you should match properly. And mainly thing what they are looking for is you have the proper setup. See, like the quality systems, it goes by the documents. Is your product may be good, but unless you have the quality setup, then that will not go through. So all those standards, NatCap, if it is required, you have to do that. So that kind of things will be there. Initially, you may find it difficult. In fact, that Salem person, he is exporting even to Russia for that shield, what was designed by them, that rubber gaskets, all those things and all. So they are
Aerospace engineers. That's
Mr. Sundar.
Salem Aero Engineers.
Yeah.
Salem Aero.
So
Salem
next
Aero.
person will guide you whatever you want to do.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
I will supplement.
Sundaram.
Yeah, exactly.
Mr. Bhaskar, I will supplement your question. I am from ex-ISRO and worked in the same field. What you asked. In ISRO, 40% of the budget is spent on the external fabrication. Out of 40%, more than 500 industries, MSMEs, are promoted, spread all over India. And
Very good,
as
sir.
you said, defense corridor, we have space corridor. We have
Oh.
space corridor. Even at Chennai, we
Yes,
have
sir.
a couple of industries. Coimbatore we have. In fact, Coimbatore, we have developed a industry who can build, design, fabricate, assemble and test and deliver a valve system for the PSLV, GSLV. So we have developed MSMEs to meet the requirement of the space. So as our Dr. Raja Singh said, you have to look for what is your core competence, which area you can contribute, for which now the space policy, so many startups are coming. Even Chennai, there is Agnikul. In Hyderabad, there is a Skyroot. There are a number of Bangalore Dynamic Corporation. There are so many companies are coming up based on their core competence, which can meet the ISRO's requirement. But one thing you have to keep in mind, ISRO is not only looking for hardware for this rocket and satellite, it also looks for the software and operation systems. And ground-based system. Therein you can contribute to much more. Whereas a large thing is there. In fact, in 69 when I joined along with Kalam, we came to Trichy. Trichy was the first industry we met. Simco meters we have met, and we have contacted with BHEL, WRI, and Salem Steel Plant. As you said, Salem Steel Plant, we have still running contract, which produces the high strength stainless steel sheet, which is used for rocket propellant tanks. Even now, as Dr. Raja Singh said, it is being imported outside also. The quality wise, it is good. And similarly, in Coimbatore, Sribadambur, and Tirunelveli, and Nazareth. Nazareth is the one area where in art industrial school, which they do the MSMEs. A lot of MSMEs there, and we are supporting TVS groups. So, ISRO supports MSME and large volume, high-tech industries also like Godrej, L&T, HAL, and MTAR and other things. So, that is a message for you. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. I'm very happy to hear this, sir. Yes.
Thank you, sir. Thank you,
Yes,
Bhaskar.
sir. Yes.
Anybody any have questions there or otherwise? Thank you, sir. Dr. Raja Singh, sir. I think given excellent
Thank you.
talk
Thank you,
about
sir.
both these things, sir. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Now I ask, I welcome the Mr. Kannan, Honorary Secretary of Tamil Nadu State Center, to propose the vote of thanks, sir.
Thank you, Engineer Ramdas, Chairman TNSC. It's my pleasure and privilege to say vote of thanks to all those who have participated and our chief guest on behalf of Institution of Engineers, India Tamil Nadu State Center, and Madurai Local Center, and Tiruchirappalli Local Center. My sincere thanks to our chief guest, and who has given a valuable lecture on the auspicious day of World Standards Day, being celebrated all over the globe on the 14th of October every year, on the theme of protecting the planet with standards. This Mr. Rajnath Singh or Raja Singh, Thangadurai, scientist and project director, BRAHMOS, DRDL, Ministry of Defense, Hyderabad. I thank you very much, sir, for your valuable lecture. My sincere thanks to you.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
This day, we are celebrating the birth anniversary of the great and eminent scientist, Dr. Abdul Kalam, who lived with great standards, really. I remember he said about 8 truths in life. I just want to mention 1 and 8. First one is, nobody in the world was real except mother. That first thing. And the 8th one, when you are having everything, your patience is required. When you have nothing, when you are having nothing, your patience is required. And when you have everything, your attitude is very important. These two things really I studied, and from his words, I really appreciate our great man who has lived very simple, very great these things. I thank the Institution of Engineers India, Tamil Nadu State Center Chairman, Engineer Ramdas, Madurai Local Center Chairman, Mr. Engineer Rajagopal, our Honorary Secretary Narayan Sami, Tiruchirappalli Local Center Chairman Dr. Kumaresan, and Honorary Secretary Anand, those Mr. Sivakumaran, who has jointly organized this wonderful lecture meeting today. Really, I thank you, all of you, sir. I thank the other participants for our past president and council member Rajamani sir, Mr. Kothari sir, and other committee members of the local centers and other members of the other centers and lady members of the centers of the Institute of Engineers India. Thank you very much, all of you. Thanks for attending this very eventful day. Thank you all. Thank you, sir.